attention. Boom, roasted. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Sorry. Okay. The downfall is I need to remember that this is being recorded. So if I say anything that I shouldn't, I'm going to have to figure out a way to delete the recording right away. Okay. Look, before Melissa sees what I did. Okay. So let's do this really quick. This has to happen fast. Okay. Just give me a high and a low from this last week. Just do those two things for me. Okay. Start thinking now, a high and a low from this last week. And because she had her brother without a shirt on here a little bit ago, Dalen, you're going to go first.
My low is that we lost our last volleyball game. And then a high is that my brother got engaged.
Cool. Rachel.
My high is that I got my braces off, and the low is that it's been really cold and it's only October.
I just noticed that. Your braces are off. Does that seem weird? Sweet. All right, Rebecca Anderson.
My high is that the girls cross country team won conference for the 17th year in a row. And my low, I don't know. Maybe I didn't do as well as I would have liked, but it was definitely a team victory, but not really a personal victory.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Alex McGowan.
My low is that it's really windy out, and I don't really like the wind. And my high is that I went to Ruby's with my family this morning before they close, so that was nice.
Nice. The Nat.
I think my high for this week is going to be the 3-day weekend, and my low is probably my allergies because they're bad right now before it's going to frost.
Gotcha. Ashton.
My high is that, well, let's see, I got a perfect score on my math test, and I don't really have a low.
Ah, there you go. That works. Brady Benzine, the man who he's all dark and stuff like that. You can't actually see anything because the light's behind him. But go ahead, Brady. What do you got?
My high is that we have a 3-day weekend. My low is that it's really cold out right now.
Yeah, it's a little brisk out there right now. Really quick. So my low actually would go with other people's. The weather outside is pretty darn chilly right now. My high would be I got to have Mexican last night and it tasted good. It was good stuff. So that's mine. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead here and we are going to get started. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Let's see, play slideshow in window. Then we come over here and we are going to share screen. This is all exciting, isn't it? Hey, look at that. I am quite impressive in case any of you are wondering at all. Okay, you guys, let's see. I'm going to get this moved here. I can see you all there. Perfect. Whoops. Oh, we're jumping ahead. Oh my gosh, this went way up. All right. So we are talking good news today. I'm going to take this, get my notes here. All right. So we're going to be talking good news, which everybody likes because, it's better than not good news. So, oh, look, I'm supposed to welcome you. So, hey, most of you, welcome. I'm just kidding. All of you, welcome. Glad you guys are here this morning. All right. So let's see. Do you guys have your take-home activity? Did you guys get that? Everybody gets the take-home activity? Good morning, Heather Benzine. All right. So what do you guys all have for your take-home stuff? Did you guys get that? Dalen? All right. How many of you guys, did you guys actually, is that something you guys worked on or not?
No, we fill this out as we go.
Oh, Okay. Did
So
you guys?
we filled this out as we go, and like the take-home activity was sharing a piece of good news, like from our week or in the world.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, do any of you guys have any good news that you found in the world? Nat got excited. Nat, did you have something? One word. Are we playing charades?
No. Hold on. Sorry, I have to get it up. So, about 4 months ago, I got a new cousin, and he's growing nicely, and I'm just gonna share a picture of him.
Hey, that's good news. Sweet.
He's cute, and if you can see, he's covered in blueberries, and he's very cute.
All right, guys, what other people have here? Brady, do you have a piece of good news? Is Brady going to share, or is he just moving his camera?
Biking, I guess.
Okay. All right. Alex.
The boys JV and varsity cross country team won conference again.
All right. Ashton.
Honestly, I don't know.
Just kidding. It's okay. All right. You keep thinking of something. Well, you got a good test score. We can count that, right? There you go. We already kind of did this, I guess, didn't we? Rebecca.
So I guess what I said before, I would say just good news from my week is that there really was no bad news. So I can't think of anything. Like, I can't really think of like a low or a bad in my week, really. I just had a really nice week. You could have, yeah.
All right. Dalen.
Probably my brother's engagement and the football team are district champs.
That's exciting. That's cool. Let's see. Rachel.
Well, I was gonna say about the football team too, and then I was gonna say I just getting my braces off because I've had them for a long time.
That's fair. All right. So when we talk about good news, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. When you have a piece of good news, does that mean it's good for everybody? I mean, most of you, like, let's pick on Rebecca to begin with, right? Okay, so anybody remember, other than Rebecca, what was her good news? Anybody remember? I'm not having Rebecca share. We're gonna see if Nat, what was it?
Oh wait. Was it that the girls won the junior varsity thing?
There you go. Is that good news for everybody, Nat?
No, because if Decorah wins, that means that there are other teams that lose.
Sure. That's really good news, right? I mean, so much of this is perspective. You know what I mean? And so good for you. Now, granted, so Rachel's braces, it probably wasn't bad news for anybody. I can't imagine it was bad news for somebody, you know. But sometimes our good news can be other people's not so good news or even bad news. All right, we're gonna go back here. All right. Oops. Okay. Oh, look at that. It was on there. I should follow along with this instead. All right. We're going to play a fun game of how do you say that word? So, you know, just a fun fact. At one point in time in my life, I could actually understand 4 languages. Isn't that kind of impressive? That is no longer the case as I have quit paying attention to a lot of languages. But anyway. All right. So we're going to play a fun game. The fun game is, how do you say Evangelion? Evangelion. 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 All right, say it for me. Evangelion. Say that. Okay, take yourselves off your mute. That's lame.
Evangelion.
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 Katie, did I hear you?
Evangelion.
There we go. All right. Evangelion. So the gospel, when you talk about the gospels, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, right? The gospel means good news. Okay? So when we talk about sharing the gospel, we're talking about sharing the good news of Jesus. Right? Does that make sense? Everybody still awake? Fantastic. Great. Okay.
Evangelion.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, we got it there, Mr. Fancy Evangelion person. All right. So an evangelist. Okay. I mean, have you guys heard of evangelists before? Yeah. Okay. So evangelist at its core, I mean, so let's be honest. When we talk about evangelists right now, sometimes we think of people that are a little weird, or people we see on TV, a televangelist, right? But here's the deal. Evangelist just means a person who speaks good news. Okay? So for example, Melissa, right, who we all think is wonderful. See, I'm saying that because it's recorded and she'll see this later. Evangelist means a person who speaks good news. So Melissa is an evangelist. Okay? As people of faith, we're called to be evangelists. We're called to tell people about the good news, right? The idea is the good news that evangelists and that we bring are good news for everybody. The hope is that we're bringing hope to people that are down or people that need help. We're bringing hope to them. We're speaking the good news to them, right? Okay. So evangelism, let's see. Evangelism, the sharing of good news. Evangelical, having to do the good news. Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, in America, sorry, I keep on switching those. But evangelical, so ELCA, so our denomination, that's what we are, okay? We're the Evangelical Lutheran Church. So we bring the good news. We're the Lutheran Church that brings good news to this country, right? Okay, evangelicals, evangelicalism, a particular flavor of Christianity. So we are what's called Protestants, right? Does anybody know why we're called Protestant? I mean, we're the Lutheran denomination, but sometimes they break things down into categories. Anybody want to guess why it's Protestant? Okay. So Martin Luther was Catholic, right? So you had Luther being Catholic, and Luther protested.
Where does it come from? Protest?
There you go.
It just popped right before you said it.
Luther protested the Catholic Church, right? And that's how our denomination got started, because he was out there. The Catholics were telling everybody you had to buy indulgences to go to heaven, or if you had a great-great-grandparent that had passed away, they were sitting in purgatory, and unless you paid the Catholic Church so much money, they would stay there. And so Luther started protesting, and so that's why we're called Protestants. Now, there's also evangelical, okay, which some evangelicals can have a bad rap, and some of it's deserved and some of it's not. They're more the non-denominational churches, right? So evangelical is a brand of Christianity now, sort of how it's broke down. Let's see. Okay. All right, but what is the good news? The good news of God in Christ, right? That's the good news. Thinking about who Jesus is, how Jesus lived, what Jesus did, and what Jesus taught, all right? And thinking about how all of this is not just news, but good news, okay? All right. So, what did Jesus' life look like? tell me a little bit. What do you guys know about what Jesus did during his life? I'm going to take this. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can see all of you guys. All right, so take yourselves off mute for a minute, and we're going to talk about this. What are a few things that you guys remembered about Jesus and how he lived his life?
Jesus performed a lot of miracles throughout his life, like things that like normal people couldn't do.
Yep. Yeah. That's good. That's good news. What
He,
else?
like,
No, go ahead.
he like forgave people for what they did, and he like helped people who were like blind or hungry.
Mhm. Yep. What else?
He spread the word of God.
Okay. Yep. Spread the word of God. What else? Somebody else. Dalen, what's one thing you can remember that Jesus did?
I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there. There's an easy one. Okay. There's one easy thing that Jesus did.
Jesus died on the cross to forgive our sins.
Died on the- right? That's sort of one of the bigger things that Jesus did. Right? Okay. Anybody else? Can you think of anything else that Jesus did? Now, here's the other thing, you guys, because remember, when we talk about our good news, sometimes is other people's bad news. When Jesus did these miracles, was it always good news for everybody?
Well, like a lot of the like leaders or kings of the time didn't like it because he like called a lot of people out for trying to idolize themselves and like saying that they were godlike.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm somebody in power, right? I'm in complete control. Then somebody else comes over and is telling people that I'm not the end all, right? I'm then threatened because he's taking away my power. And that's sort of what was happening with Jesus, right? Okay, let's see. And then when we think about Jesus' life and everything we know about Jesus brings the stuff about Jesus. All right, how does that help people? How does what Jesus did help people?
It shows us how we should live.
Okay, yeah. Shows us how we should live. And if we follow the way Jesus lived, does that mean our life is going to be easy and hunky-dory?
No, but it's going to help.
Okay. How does what Jesus did help the world today? What are practical ways, or in what ways do you think that helps?
He taught us how to forgive, or shows us how to forgive.
Okay.
Which is something we could do probably more than we do, but it helps bring people together.
You think the world needs a little bit of forgiveness right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just being able to, talk to one another and have conversations and still be, friends and stuff afterwards. I mean, you look at the disciples, you guys, right? How many disciples were there? Somebody tell me, other than Rebecca. Boom, roasted. What's that? There's 12. Right. Yep. So you had 12 disciples, right? So all those disciples had very different thoughts about Jesus. Okay. They weren't all the same. They all had different backgrounds, right? Their priorities in the book of Acts, which comes after the Gospels, the book of Acts is all about the disciples like arguing about, Jesus and theology and who should know about Jesus and how should they live their lives and things like that, right? And so here you had, and this is just 12 people, right, that knew Jesus better than anybody else. And so these 12 had to learn how to live together, let alone living in a country this size where you have a whole bunch of different churches, right? I mean, it's kind of crazy. Does that make sense, you guys? Sort of, kind of, maybe? Yes? Okay. All right. So that's some of the ways that Jesus can help our world today, right? And I think that'd be one of the better ones. Okay, let's see. We're going to go back to this fancy slideshow here. Oops. Okay. All right. Do you guys all have your handout sheets? Yeah? Everybody show me. Hold up your handout sheet. Brady, do you have it? Okay, all right. Okay, good deal. All right. So this is our first discussion today. You're going to take a look at the first side of the handout. Up top, you're invited to brainstorm the news of Jesus. Who is Jesus? What did he do? What were the facts? Sort of news reporting, the who, what, where, when, that sort of stuff. And then at the bottom, you're invited to think about what makes all of this good news. Why does it bring it? What does it bring into the world? Why would people want to know this, and what would people want or need? Okay, so I am actually, because I haven't really played with this function before, and this gives me a chance to have some fun, because this is all about me, right? Okay, I'm actually going to split. Oh, come on, stop that, computer. Okay, we are going to split you guys into some small groups here, okay? And I want you guys in your small groups to fill these forms out together. At least I think I can do that, right? Breakout rooms. Hey, look at that. Assign 7 participants automatically. All right, I am going to send you off into breakout rooms. I will give you guys about 5 minutes, and then randomly I will just bring you all back and tell you to come back. Thumbs up. Everybody got it? So unmute yourself. Everybody has to share at least one thing during that time, okay? And I have a couple tattletales in here, so they're gonna, I'm just kidding. But no, have a little conversation, talk about it, and we'll come back and share what you guys talked about. All right, they're just random, okay? Boom. Oops, I'm gonna pause this for a minute. All right, we're gonna hit play again. I assume everybody's starting to come out, right? Oh, rooms are getting ready to close. So does a notice just come up that says that I'm closing the room? Is that what it says? Okay, all right. You guys got your sheet filled out there? Good deal. We're waiting. Oh, there's Nat. All right. So really quick, one person from each group, give me a quick rundown of what you guys talked about.
So we talked about how the good news was just news about God and about positivity and about love and acceptance. And we said that in the past, Jesus spread the bad news, then it fell upon his disciples, then it fell upon his followers until it falls upon us. And it's our job to spread the good news. And it doesn't even need to be like spreading a religion and trying to make people Lutheran. It can be just spreading positivity, spreading love and forgiveness, and making the world a slightly better place, because we know that that's what God and Jesus would want from us.
Okay, good. Well done. Other group? Brady, what did you guys talk about?
Kind of the same thing as Nat's group. Basically.
All right, that's fair. Okay, all right. Some things that you might include on your list. Jesus in the Bible is called Emmanuel, right? Anybody know what that means? Anybody know what Emmanuel means?
Does that mean King of Kings?
Nope. It means God with us, okay? I mean, part of that good news then is no matter what we're going through, God is with us, right? So highs, lows, in between, the promise is that Jesus is always present with us, okay? And that helps for a couple reasons. First and foremost, if you're somebody dealing with anxiety, depression, feeling left alone, sort of the core there is, no matter what I'm going through, and even if my friends betray me, or even if, I feel like my family's all against me, no matter what, I have God, right? So you have that good news of God is always here with us, all right? Let's see. Jesus healed people, brought comfort, raised people from the dead. Okay. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go back to the fancy Affirm. Here we go. Oops. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, look at this. I just said some of this. Jesus is healer. Jesus is teacher. Forgiveness, love for neighbor, justice for oppressed, right? Jesus stood up for the least of these, okay? People that were sort of cast aside, right? Jesus came for those people to bring them hope. Jesus proclaiming the kingdom of God. Jesus' death, resurrection, and ascension. So, Jesus dies on the cross. Jesus rises from the dead. And that if you remember, when Jesus rose from the dead, he didn't just go away at that point in time. Jesus ascends into heaven at a later time, right? All right. The good news of Jesus, God is with us, not apart from or against us. Promise of healing either in this life or in the future. We are forgiven, loved, cherished no matter what. God's promise of justice and reconciliation for our world, and the promise of abundant life now and eternal beyond death. Okay? So Jesus' teaching helps remember that we are forgiven, loved, and cherished no matter what. Watching Jesus heal gives us hope and the promise that healing can happen in our lives too, right? All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. That is an old iPhone. Seriously. It has like the little slide thing on the bottom. Anyway, but we're not focused on that now, are we? All right, you as an evangelist. All right, so we've talked about what good news is. One of the harder things about this is, how do you do that, right? Because, all right, I'm gonna actually stop sharing again for a second so that I can see you all. How many people would feel comfortable if I said, all right, so as part of confirmation today, you're gonna go on a street corner, you're gonna start just talking to people about Jesus? Rebecca's got a maybe. Rachel's got a absolutely no face. Brady, what are you doing, Brady? Are you on your phone, Brady? What are you looking at there, Brady? All right. Brady's evangelizing on his phone. I'm just kidding. Okay, so when we talk about evangelizing, right? Most of you probably wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. Okay. One of the core questions is, does who Jesus is and what Jesus did, does it matter? So that's the first question. Does any of that matter, what we talked about? Can it make a difference in somebody's life? I would hope most of you are agreeing with me right now, right? Okay, I even got a slight nod out of Rachel there. That's good. Ashton, do you agree with that? Okay. When we talk about somebody needing forgiveness, when we talk about somebody needing hope, when we talk about somebody needing to know that they're not alone, right? All of those things matter. So the question for us is, if we believe that who Jesus is and what Jesus did for us can make a difference in our lives for the better, right? Then I have to believe that who Jesus is, what Jesus did, can make a difference in somebody else's life for the better, right? So then the question is, how do you go and do that, right? So not everybody is going to be a pastor and, get up in front of a congregation on a Sunday and preach, right? How many of you guys have phones? Most of you guys have phones? Ashton, do you have a phone? Brady, do you have a phone? Oh, what are you holding right now, Brady? I bet he's holding his phone. You got your phone? All right, everybody show me. I'm just kidding. Everybody show me your phone. Pull your phone out. Okay. All right. So if let's just talk about social media, and what social media are you guys on? Really quick, Brady, what social media or apps, stuff like that, what do you use?
Just Snapchat.
Just Snapchat? Is that the only one that you're on? All right. Mickelson, what about you?
Snapchat, Instagram. Yeah.
Those are the main two. Ashton, are you on any of that?
Just messaging in general.
Okay. Or what do you use for messaging?
I don't know what it's called. It's just an app though.
Okay. All right. Nat? Oh, Nat?
I just realized. I use Instagram, Snapchat, and not much else.
Okay. Dalen?
Snapchat, Instagram, Visco, and TikTok.
What? What was before
TikTok?
TikTok?
Yeah.
What was before TikTok?
Oh, Visco?
What's Visco?
I don't know, kind of like another app like Instagram, sort of, I guess. It's like a mix between Instagram and like Twitter. Because you can like retweet people's posts and then you can like like them.
Oh, gotcha.
Hmm.
Alex?
Snapchat. That's really it.
Okay. Rebecca?
I have Snapchat. I mean, it would kind of be nice to not have it, but there's so many people who like rely on it and will only Snapchat me, like they refuse to message me, which is really irritating. But like some of my friends refuse to message, so I kind of have to have Snapchat. Otherwise, I wouldn't really have it.
Okay. Well, so when we talk about, evangelism, right? How you guys treat people on your social media, whether it's Snapchat or any of those things, honestly can make a huge difference, right? Because if I know, let's say I know that Rachel Mickelson goes to First Lutheran Church, right? And Rachel is out there tearing people down, okay, on her Snapchat or on her Insta. She's doing some type of whatever you call those. I don't even know what you call them anymore, whatever. But she's doing all that stuff. Is that lifting up the kingdom of heaven or is that tearing it down? Right? And it's doing a couple other things as well, because what it means to me as a non-Christian or somebody that may be questioning, and I see somebody like Rachel Mickelson absolutely tearing other people to shreds or bringing other people down, then I'm like, well, wait, if you're Christian, shouldn't you be like helping people or lifting people up? One of the things that I've noticed a lot when you talk about the increase of anxiety and depression in students, a lot of it has to do with social media. Now, part of that anxiety is if I put something on Insta, right? I have students that I know that will check every like 5 seconds to see how many likes that post has. A former student of mine actually will delete her post if within like a half hour it doesn't have so many likes. She'll just delete it because she's too anxious about how people are seeing her. Even the types of things that we post, right, are the things that we're putting on the TikTok, which, Dalen, do you follow me? You totally should follow me. I'm like an absolute TikTok star. Just kidding. See, Ashton even smiled a little bit. Did you guys see that? I got just a little smidge of a smile. That makes my day. So we want to be lifting each other up, and the things that you're posting, are those things lifting people up, or are they like mocking people? You know, I mean, that's how our entire life should be. But when we talk about being an evangelist, it's like, how are you yourself bringing good news to people? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're like just holding a Bible up in somebody's face, but how you treat people genuinely makes a difference in their life. Okay, let's see what else. A couple weeks ago, we talked about being a part of a family of faith, right? The faith isn't just for us. Our relationship with Jesus isn't just between us and God. Jesus is for everybody, and we want to make sure that people know that. So we are the good news of Jesus in two ways. We share the good news in word and deed, right? Are the two ways that we share the good news. That is by what we say and by what we do. Paul, writing to the church of Rome, says, how are they to call on one in whom they have not believed? And how are they to believe in one? And how are they to hear without somebody proclaiming him? And how are they to proclaim him if it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news? So faith comes from what, faith comes from what is, am I think cut off? Come through the word of Christ, right? So what that means is the only way for people to hear about Jesus is if we tell people. And let's be honest with you, so you guys know me a little bit. I will admit some of you, I probably know better than others of you, right? Are you more likely to listen to somebody that you don't know or somebody that you do know?
Someone that you do know.
Why is that?
Because we trust them.
Okay. Yeah, I get to know somebody, and when they tell me things, it's, and I know, how many of you guys always listen really well to your parents? Rebecca, good job. Okay. Well, I mean, part of the reason when we look at who the most influential people are in students' lives, it's still, for the most part, is parents, and then it goes to like peers and things like that. And very low are celebrities, right? We think that, you hear adults that will talk about how big of a deal celebrities and what they do are. The reality is they don't actually have that much influence on people's lives, okay? If a celebrity goes and like is saying something, you don't see a whole bunch of people just automatically jump on board with it, right? But it's through trusted relationships that we tend to follow along with people like that, such as our parents, right? And I know we don't always listen to our parents, and that is what it is, but when we talk about sharing our faith with Jesus, it's one thing if somebody just, oh, look, I listened to somebody on TV that I don't know and will never actually talk to, versus a trusted person in your life that comes and tells you something, you're more likely to actually believe them, right? Which is why you matter when it comes to spreading who Jesus is and like helping people out. All those things matter because you are a trusted person in somebody else's life. Okay? Let's see what we got here. Same goes with our actions. Writer of James says, be doers of the word, not merely hearers who deceive. Because like your speech, the good news of Jesus also affects how you live in the world. Okay? Active works of service. Working at the food pantry, helping somebody pick up their books. If somebody falls over, helping them. Or you know what, if there's something happening that you disagree with and you go down in support of people and marching with them, that's another way to look at it, right? And so all those things matter in our faith because our faith without works is dead. Does that make sense? So like if I tell Rachel, hey Rachel, sorry, I'm picking on you a lot. I apologize. No, I don't apologize actually. But if I tell Rachel she's my BFF, right? Because sorry, I'm pointing this way because you're right here on my screen. Okay. The rest of you probably that doesn't work, so I probably don't need to do that. But if I tell Rachel she's my BFF, and then I never return her snaps, or I don't like any of her Instagram posts, or we never sit and I never sit with her at lunch, is she really my BFF? Right? I mean, if I'm not like actually like doing anything in support of her, okay? And so this is where our works and faith have to align, right? Because if I say that I believe in Jesus, but my works don't show that at all, and I'm just out tearing people down, or I'm just out doing awful things to humans, what does that say about my faith? Right? So those two things should be intertwined. Lots of times we reflect the good news of Jesus just by simply how we act in our everyday life. Okay? All right. I'm going to share screen again. Oh, look at that. Oop. Oh. Oh, no, too far. All right. Do you guys have this sheet? Okay. I can share the good news. All right. So we're going to break you off again. Okay. All right. So I want you as a group, okay, I want you guys to fill this out a little bit. Work on this for about, do this for about 5 quick minutes. Okay. Whoops, stop that. Let's see here. We'll stop sharing.